Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden. And yes, today we're finally out in the garden. I have been battling extensive rain. If you recall, this summer we went through a massive drought, over 100+ days without rain. It's really rough. We were really struggling in this particular area. Since then, starting in the end of August and throughout the fall and into winter, we've now had so much rain that we passed the last record amount of rainfall, which was in 1998. We've now passed that, and now we have an abundance of rain. Texas weather. So anyway, I've been battling the rain, so it's been really hard to get out here because everything is so wet and sloppy. But today we're going to be working on this particular portion of the container garden. I was cleaning out my dining room, which I'm turning into a plant studio for myself, and I found several bags of bulbs that I forgot to plant, including Muscari and Allium. And so I'm going to be cleaning up this section and then getting some of those bulbs into these containers, and then also getting some of them into the raised gardens. Okay, so today I'm just going to start very simply, and I'm going to cut or pull everything out of these containers. There are a few things. I have some buried treasures, strawberries over here. I believe that's the only perennial something that I have over here, but everything else is annual. So I'm just going to start by cleaning all of this out, and then we'll talk about how we're going to place everything after that. Okay, I did want to take a moment. If you guys recall, I did those compostable pots from Proven Winners where you grow your seedling in the pot. And this was Besto Pesto Basil. And you pull out the bottom and then it allows all the roots to go through. The roots definitely went through. These were very strong plants. They did really well. Very sweet basil. They were really nice to enjoy inside. Obviously, the pot didn't, break down. I believe it takes years and years, but I thought y'all might find that interesting to see how it had grown out the sides and the bottom. Very cool. Y'all, this is one purslane plant. Look at that. That's insane. Okay, so I removed a few of the pots and put them towards the back. They are my favorite vintage terracotta pots, and I don't want them to go through multiple freezes. But I left a few containers up here. I definitely think I'm going to fill this one right here with Muscari. I think that would be really pretty, and I might fill a couple of more with Muscari. I'm not going to fill all of them, but let me kind of just lay that out a little bit, and then we can talk about it. Okay, so I have Muscari bulbs. This is Cobalt C blend, so it's a blend of blue, light blue, and white. These are mid-spring blooms. I actually think they're more early spring. The height is about 5 to 7 inches, and we plant them about 2 inches apart and 3 inches deep. Now, these are from color blends. I already planted a bunch in my front garden, which have already actually come up. The greens have come up. So, but I had forgotten about these in my dining room, and when I was cleaning it out, I found them. So I thought, you know what? Let's just go in and let's just make a couple of pots of beautiful Muscari bulbs, and that might be really fun. So I think I'm going to blend in some other bulbs in here too. I also have some Schuberti Allium, which should have been planted back in October, but I think I'm going to go ahead and go for it now. on them. I mean, I'm so far past the deadline, who knows what'll happen, but we'll go for it. So I'm going to go ahead and actually start with the Muscari. I'm going to pull out about 3 inches of the soil. I'm going to recharge the soil with a little bit of fertilizer because this is not fresh potting soil, and I'm not interested in changing it out for fresh potting soil right now. But so basically I'm going to come in, I'm going to pull out. I know this has all the roots and all that kind of stuff, but these roots will decompose and they'll add nutrients to the soil. So basically I'm going to come in and remove some of the soil just like that. Then I'm going to add some of my plant tone fertilizer into it. Now, bulbs, you don't really have to fertilize bulbs. They have all the nutrients they need in the actual little bulb. Right here, all the nutrients you need is there. So when we're planting these, you're going to be planting the pointy side up and the rounded side, and you can see the little roots down. And you can see how anxious these guys are to get into the ground. I just totally forgot that they were there. So I guess it was good that I was doing a clean out the other day. This gives me an opportunity to really get in here and get these in instead of going to waste. If any of them feel spongy or anything like that, you definitely want to pull that out. And then we're just going to come right back over the top with the additional loose soil. And I am going to lightly water these in. Now these pots are set up on drip, and my drip waters them once every 7 days during the winter. And that seems to work out pretty well. Okay, this is kind of fun. I feel like we've got them all tucked in for the winter. There we go. Okay, I also have some Schuberti Allium. These are very late bloomer, late spring. They're 18 to 22 inches high, and they need to be planted 6 inches deep. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plant maybe 3 of them in this pot right here. Then I'm going to layer in 3 inches of soil, and then I'm going to put a layer of Muscari in it. And that's what you call a lasagna container, where you're adding layers upon layers into it. All right, we're going to add a little bit of plant tone into here. And let's open up these bulbs. These are nice, big, good bulbs. They have pointy end that goes up. The little roots portion or the rounded end goes down. So we're just going to nestle those in there. Just like that. We're just going to do 2 in here. Actually, let's do 3 in here. Just like that. And now I'm going to layer over with about 3 inches of soil. Okay, and now I'm going to come back over the top with more of the Muscari. This might finish me up on Muscari. I'm just going to nestle these all the way around, putting quite a few in here. Anything that feels soft, I will not put in here. That means it's rotting. Same thing if it feels like a rock. Feels super dry, something like that, that means it's not good. I like the potential look of this pot because this terracotta has like these blue colors on the side, which will go really well with the Muscari, and then the purple tones of the Schuberti Allium. Okay, so now I'm going to add 3 more inches of soil. Okay, so I still have 2 Schiberti Allium and I have a bunch of drumstick Allium. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut back these marigolds and let's put 2 of the Schiberti Allium in this bed and fill it up with drumstick Allium. And then let's see the difference if we have better luck with the Schiberti Allium in the raised bed or if we have better luck with it in the containers. So I'm going to start, these were all the marigolds that I just loved. They were just wonderful. And if you recall, this was my dahlia bed that didn't do well. So I ended up putting a bunch of zinnias in here. So I actually figured if I put in these drumstick alliums, by the time they're finished blooming, it'll be getting time to plant zinnias. And I can plant this whole bed with zinnias and leave the bulbs in here, which will work out great. Okay. So I have actually a lot of these marigold heads in here. Maybe it'll give me some bonus marigolds. I saved a bunch of seeds, but you know. Okay, so let's start. I'm just going to do 2 of the Schiberti Allium. I'm going to do them over this direction. Remember, they get planted 6 inches deep. And I'm just going to do them towards the front of the bed over here. Get those tucked in. No big deal. These beds get watered once every 7 days as well during the winter. Okay, next we have drumstick allium, and they have a big, long, complicated name that I'll put down below. And I had a lot of luck with these last year. I had tons that turned out really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of spread them around a little bit like this. They need to be planted about 3 inches deep, 3 inches apart. But I think it'll be really fun to kind of fill in this space with them. And basically I'm just going to come in with my tool, go about 3 inches deep, tuck them in, pointy side up. Very simple. Okay, so I'm glad I got that knocked out. Got the Muscari and some Schiberti Allium planted over here in the containers. Once again, those Schiberti Allium, any of the Allium should have been planted in October. So this will be a complete experiment. We'll see if they work. The Muscari should be fine. I'm not worried about them at all. I also had this bulbine perennial just tucked in the corner. I kept forgetting to plant, so I went ahead and just tossed it into this container. I don't think that's its final location, but that's just what we're going to do for now. And then over in the raised beds, I planted about 100 drumstick allium and 2 of the Schiberti alliums over there to see if there's going to be a difference between the ones in the raised bed and the ones in the container. Felt really good to get out here, you guys. Really nice. I will say there will be less videos as we get towards the end of the year because truthfully, I'm just at the point I just want to be with my family all the time. And so gardening is going to take a back seat for now so that I can just spend time with them. But come January, we'll get going. There'll still be a few more videos throughout December, but January will get going in full force for the 2023 gardening season. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.